Hello everybody. My name is Yaron Koren. This is my talk. Hopefully, this is the last talk of the day. Hopefully, people can stay awake for this one. Actually, before I get to this, I should I have some announcements. I don't know if this is the best time to do this, but I was talking to Denny Vrandicic online, and he said I should. He sent me this slide and said I should plug this. This is a summer school at Berkeley in August. Semantic, what is it? Summer school on semantic computing, and it's a week. Denny's been doing it a few years now, and there's at least one full day about semantic MediaWiki, but it also covers a lot of other semantic web topics. They got some cool invited speakers. That first name might look familiar to you, Lotfi Zadeh. He's the inventor of fuzzy logic. Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know. It's supposed to be like half students, half industry people. So if you're in Berkeley, check that out. Oh, it's not free.
Oh.
It's pretty expensive, actually.
Oh.
I think it's $900. Yeah, if you have to ask. And then I figured if I'm already talking about events, I might as well mention Wikimania 2012, which is next year, in a little over a year. It's going to be right here in Washington, D.C., which is pretty cool. The first one in North America in quite a while, actually. And Katie here was one of the people who helped bring it here, which is pretty awesome. So that should be fun. If you haven't been to Wikimania, it's definitely an experience.
We are looking for sponsors, so if that's something you're interested in.
Okay. They're looking for sponsors. So.
But otherwise, please join us next year.
Cool. And Katie also has some cool Wikipedia 10th anniversary buttons there.
12 to 15.
Then I figured if I mentioned that, I might as well mention the upcoming Wikimania this summer, which is going to be in Haifa, which happens to be my hometown, actually. So I'll be there. Hopefully, other people will be there too, which would be cool. What else did I want to? Oh yeah, I figured if I'm already mentioning that, I might as well mention the DC Semtech. It's here, so that sounds like it would be pretty cool. I don't know if this is the first Semtech East, but the Semtech West is supposed to be like a crazy blowout. So this will be that's coming up in the fall. I think that's it for the plugs. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. All right, let's start the top. Okay, so that's a puzzle. This is all the stuff I mentioned yesterday, but in case you weren't here, I do MediaWiki development and consulting, and I run WikiWorks, and I also help to run Referata. So workflow. On the subject of workflow, Joel Natividad here had a great talk about workflow at the last SMWCon, which is online, the one in Amsterdam. So you should check that out if you're interested in this topic, because that was a good one. So what is workflow? There's if you go to Wikipedia, there's a whole bunch of explanation, and there's like 10 different articles that cover different aspects of it, like business rule, logic, and all this kind of stuff. My basic definition is it's a series of rules of the form when an event happens, do an action. So if anyone here has had experience with workflow, what are some examples of events that can happen that would trigger an action?
The machine run.
Okay.
Someone uploads an image.
Sure. Okay. Not just about wikis, but in general. But that's okay. Fine. That's a reasonable one. Yeah. Anybody else?
The server goes down.
All right. Okay. Great job, guys.
The car comes in the workshop.
What?
The car comes into the workshop.
A car comes into the workshop.
Is that in general?
Are we just listing things that can happen? Yes, okay, yes.
Check arrives in the mail.
Okay, okay. Thanks, guys.
Check is in the mail.
Yeah, right, yeah. So those are all accurate. I mean, literally any event is possible. These are some of the ones that I've run into talking to people about workflow or reading, more reading up on it. But, a certain date or time is reached, whether that's a fixed date, like, every first Monday of the month or whatever, or a specific deadline, or when a task is assigned, or different steps along the task life cycle or project life cycle. Document is created, that sort of thing. A purchase is made if you're selling things online or offline. Stock reaches a certain price, etc. I don't know whether I was going to ask what are some possible actions that you can do as a result, but I don't know if it's even worth it. Anybody? Good ideas. What?
Let's skip TV
Yeah, okay, let's
see. The end of today's conference comes, and we will get up and leave.
yeah. You sell? Yeah, fine. Well, okay. Yeah, exactly. So possible actions, obviously, sending an email or a message. That's a popular thing that that can get triggered. Changing a status. Reassigning, which just means changing the assignee field. Different other stuff. Send a physical object if you're Amazon or whatever. So it's a combination of things. It's a combination of real-world actions and, in the case of wikis and other CMSs, internal actions. And it's a combination of both for actions and events. It's a combination of human and automated things. Sending an email is an automated thing, but if you want to send a package, there has to be like a human involvement in it. And they can occur in any combination. So it's a big field. It's a complex set of steps. So this, I call it a puzzle because there's so many aspects to it, and there's no, just say up front, there's no good, overall solution to this thing at the moment in Semantic MediaWiki, in MediaWiki in general. But it's still something that's important, for different purposes. So which of these are currently possible? So I wanted to first talk about, just as a demonstration of what I'm getting at. There was an extension created called Evaluation Wikiflow, which tried to be an overall broad-based thing. I don't know if anyone's heard about it. Okay. I don't mean to, the guy who wrote it is not here, and I don't even know if he's still involved in Semantic MediaWiki. I don't mean to, embarrass him or anything. This is, this was a reasonable attempt to do something like that. This is the extension page. You can see there's a lot of stuff here. It was trying to be a comprehensive approach. There's all these different special pages. There's all these, things you can assign stuff and certify. There's a whole bunch of settings, user rights. Actually, I counted it out. There's it defines a whole lot of stuff. It's basically a fully contained framework in and of itself, and it was created and then abandoned in 2009, and it doesn't work anymore. So I think it's a good case study of what not to do in this case, which is trying to solve everything within the code, trying to create a framework that can handle all possible problems, all possible use cases. Yeah, it's sort of a trip down the rabbit hole, and I mean that's not what the semantic web and semantic MediaWiki is about. It's about generic solutions that you can then use in a whole variety of different ways. So that's what I think the right approach to workflow is. It's small solutions that when you add them up together, can create a complete set of tools. Okay, so what exists now? There's a nice extension called Semantic Tasks that to fit in with the when action to event thing. When a date time is reached defined by semantic property, it sends an email or emails. There's an extension created by the Vulkan guys, by Jesse and the other guys, named Semantic Notify Me. And you preset queries, and when the value of a query changes, meaning some property changes, then it sends an email or emails. Similarly, there's one called Semantic Notifications, which is part of SMW Plus, which does a similar thing. Okay, so what else is there? There's an extension called Approved Revs, which I wrote. I guess today is like the extension plugging day. Check it out. It marks one specific revision of a page as the approved one. That's important because a lot of workflow is really about document management. A document starts out as a draft and then it gets published when some reviewer decides that it's ready and that sort of thing. So this is a lightweight way of approaching that within a wiki. Just to give you a brief demo of that. Actually, I have approved refs installed on Referata. If you guys were here yesterday, we created a whole bunch of pages. I found one that already exists. So because I'm the administrator, I see the approved revs here. Let me go just do the view history on this one. Approved revs adds these links at the end to approve. So let's see. So if I look at the two latest versions, cool, this is working. It went from yes, it uses recycled products to no, it doesn't. So I want to say that this is the approved version for whatever reason. Cool. So now if anybody goes to this page, it doesn't hide it shows that as the second to last version as the main revision. It doesn't try to hide the fact that there's been something else, but it states that this is the definitive version. And by the way, for Semantic MediaWiki, it ties in with that. So what shows up, that version's property values are what shows up for that page. So that, I think, is another piece of the puzzle.
Yaron,
Yes?
Is this the extension which is used in the German Wikipedia?
No, right, I was going to mention, there's an extension called Flagged Revs, also known as, it has another name.
Pending changes.
Pending changes, yes. And actually, approved revs. I originally created approved revs because I just looked at flagged revs and it was just too much. It was just too complicated to deal with. Which gets into what I was saying about trying to create something that fits all purposes. I mean, flagged revs makes a lot of sense for Wikipedia and other huge wikis like that because it provides a total framework for discussing what revisions you want to do. Everyone can vote on, like, I want this one, and it has a quality of a level of 1 to 5 or that sort of thing, which definitely makes sense when you have like a huge collaborative thing like that. But for smaller wikis and medium scale wikis, I think that this is the cleaner, easier solution. Yeah.
So if you mark a revision approved and someone goes to edit it, which one do they see?
Let's try that out. Let me edit this one, or edit with form, either one. Do this thing. Cool. Yeah, please note that you're not editing the latest revision of this page, which is not the approved one shown by default. Yeah. So yeah, it does the right thing. Yeah, there's nothing against flag res. I mean, I think it's cool.
Aaron, going further.
Yeah.
It warns you, if you go further and you make an edit, where does that get saved? How does it merge? What happens?
It just shows up as another revision of the page, which is then hidden, basically. I mean, it shows up as another revision of the page, but users will still see the improved version. So it's there in the history, but until someone goes with the right access goes and approves it, it'll basically be invisible. Yeah, and it's useful against spam too, for obvious reasons.
Can you unapprove a whole page, whole page?
Unapprove?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a setting
Or
where
approve,
if
approve. Do not let a page be shown.
to not let it. Yeah, there's a setting where if no revision of the page is approved, then it shows up as blank. You can set it either way. I mean, it's kind of drastic, but sometimes
But you
that's
would
what
have
you
to
want.
go, then you would have to approve all your pages?
Yes. There's also a script you can run to approve everything.
Alright.
Yeah.
Is there, in any of those extensions, is there an option to merge a revision out if you want to throw away one revision but not the ones that follow it? Using like a diff merge type approach?
Wait, sorry, say that again?
So if somebody makes a bad revision
Yeah.
that you want to throw out, but then other people came in later and made good revisions, so you have to like pick the bad pieces out but leave the good pieces in? Would any of
Well,
the
I mean,
extensions...
each revision is a standalone copy of the entire page,
Mhm.
so you know, if you approve something, then whatever was there before doesn't really matter. I mean, there are ways to hide revisions entirely if you want to, if you really don't want anyone.
Like say I vandalize the top of the page, and then a minute later someone comes in and makes a good revision to the bottom.
Yeah, but revisions in MediaWiki are is a complete piece of text. It's not just a diff to the previous revision or something.
So no one treats it like that then?
What?
So nobody treats it like that? Like a diff to the previous revision?
Well, you can view it that way, but I'm just saying on the back end it's stored as a full piece of text, so whatever was there before is basically irrelevant.
I think there's a delete revisions extension that allows you to go in and pick a single revision and
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
So there is one.
Right. Yeah. If you know, I mentioned it a little yesterday, but like if you know, if someone puts in libelous information or whatever, you can do that. Okay, so the next little piece of the puzzle is in semantic forms. There's something new coming in 2.2, which is the next version. It's already there in SVN, and it's a parser function called auto-edit that lets you make a change to a page without going to a form. So let me first do a little demo. So we made a whole bunch of pages yesterday during the tutorial. We made one for this guy Morrissey. So I was looking around for stuff to change, and I saw his age is listed as where is it? Yeah, his age is listed as 56 or something. 55? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry. But so I looked him up on Wikipedia, and his age is actually 51. Yeah. So that's the perfect thing. So I made a whole page called "Change Morrissey's Age," and if you look at the wiki text, it's got a call to auto-edit. It says the target page is Morrissey, uses this rockstar form, which is what the form for that page, and then it does this as this query string thing, which is sort of a standard syntax in semantic forms, where it says template name brackets field name gets some value. So I haven't actually tried this out, but if I click this page, if I click this link, hold, oh wait, all right, let's try it out. Is this right? Yeah. I'm going to truth. Nice.
Getting younger.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's auto edit, and I should note that was created by a guy named Stefan Ganke, who's become a big contributor to Semantic Forms. He's also the author of Semantic Forms Inputs. So that's really cool. Why is this important? I mean, why not just always go to the form? It's not that much more work. Actually, it's a lot less work if you don't have to create a little parsing function for it. It's important because it allows for automating changes to pages, and that's important in two ways. You can semi-automate stuff by just having a link for someone with approval status to say that says change status to approved or change status to okay or whatever it is. So you know, if you have your high-level people and you want them to just be able to click on one link or one button to do something standard, then you could do it that way. And the other way that it's useful is, I won't show it to you, but there's also a way to get at that same functionality through the URL. It's kind of an ugly-looking URL, but there's basically a way to duplicate that. So in other words, it creates like a URL-based or a RESTful, you could call it API, for changing the contents of pages that use that form template-based structure to change individual fields. So previously that was done with scripts. There's an extension called POM, and there's others like SMW Writer and a bunch that do that same thing. But I believe this is the easiest way now to do that. And also it's easy to create. If you know what you're doing, it's easy to create bots to do that same sort of thing. But for most people, this is going to be like the simplest way. Okay, so we have now all these little tools that allow for automation of different aspects of it. How do we then bring it all together into a single usable system without going crazy trying to do everything in one place? A possible answer, and one that I like, is using existing workflow software. I don't know how many people are aware of these. I wasn't really at all. But there's a whole bunch of applications that let you define an entire workflow. So I just went online and found some. These are some open source. I just found two. This is an open source one that I guess is popular called Process Maker. You can hopefully, I mean, the idea is that you can get a sense for how it's structured. You put together blocks and define the workflow graphically, and then each one of these has a set of instructions inside about what to do. There's another one called Bonita, which shows a very similar interface. So from this, I'm guessing that that's basically what workflow applications look like. And there's probably like if commands and all sorts of stuff within there. So it could be. It seems like it could be possible within these to just plug in, the necessary semantic MediaWiki stuff. For instance, going to a URL that does an auto edit for to change one specific field if some conditions are met. So future actions. None of these are my extensions: semantic tasks, semantic notifications, and semantic notify me. But it would be useful for any of them to be expanded to for them to hit a URL instead of just sending an email, and that way they could tie in to one of these workflow applications. So they could go to a specific URL with it, which then triggered some sort of script that the workflow application could find out about. And I think that's it. Any questions? Yeah.
The first thing I want to use auto edit for is basically little sort of surveys and polls. Click here, add one to a counter. Is that not just setting a value, but knowing the current value and adding one to it?
I think it should be. I mean, the nice thing about parser functions like that one is that you can stick recursively other parser functions in it. Yeah, I mean, I should have mentioned that. You don't have to hard code any of that stuff. So, for instance, the value could be, the result of a SQL of an SMW query plus 1 or whatever, that sort of thing. Yeah. All right. Cool. Workflow.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.